Thank you so much for joining me, Kayla, for our first interview for Women of Influence Day. You are a professional basketball player. You are the writer of a kid's book, as well as the illustrator of it, which is fantastic. You've done all these things. You're a Milton native. Thank you so much for joining me.
Honestly, thank you for having me. I feel quite honored and surprised and very thankful for this. So thank you.
It's fantastic. Now, when it comes to your basketball career, your writing career, you're also a professional speaker, I've noticed. How or when did you know you were in the right career?
So with basketball, I'm going to be honest, it kind of just happened. I was playing, I was able to earn a scholarship, and then my senior year, my dad, he was looking at the draft board for the WNBA, and like all summer going into my senior year, I was off the list. And then finally one summer, my name showed up, like the dead last name. And he called me, he's like, "You're on the draft board." And then I slowly moved up. And then I realized, oh, this is like a possibility. Like I could continue to play basketball after college for a career. And I got drafted. And thankfully, I've had the pleasure of playing for the past 8 years now as a professional nonstop, which I'm incredibly thankful for. So with respect to basketball, I kind of just fell into it. But with respect to the speaking and working with youth, I always knew that was something I wanted to do. At Syracuse University, I went and got my degree in education. I knew in the second grade that I wanted to be a teacher. I had a teacher, her name was Madame Cassette, and she was incredible. She was just so patient. She was so creative. She made learning fun. And I told myself I want to be just like her when I grow up. So being able to be able to use my platform with basketball and work with our youth, especially young girls, into the sport and show them the power of sports and how great sports can be and how you can use it to your advantage. It's just something that I'm very passionate about. And that's when I knew. I was like, okay, I think I'm in the right career, I guess, per se.
Now, I'm going to list off some of the accomplishments that I know about. 8th overall pick in the WNBA draft in 2013. You're on the Walk of Fame here in Milton. Where I was able to interview you the first time. You were able to write a children's book. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I guess two of them would be one, this past winter when we qualified for the Olympics. That had been a dream of mine that I'd been chasing for so long, and I'd failed in the process to get there a couple times. So having been healthy, being on the national team and then helping the team to qualify, we went 3-0 in Belgium to qualify for the Olympics. That was like, to me, one of my biggest accomplishments because that was like a dream that I worked so hard for and it didn't come easy and I finally accomplished it. So that was huge for me. And then the second one was writing my first children's book with my sister. That was also another passion project. Again, working with kids. I love art. I love to draw and illustrate. I like sharing stories and finally getting out of my own way and saying, "Kayla, we're going to try and do this. We're going to put it out there and see what happens." And for it to have such a warm response from everybody, I think those are my two biggest accomplishments, I'd say right now. Hopefully I'm not done though.
You mentioned your family twice there. You mentioned, I believe, your father and then as well as your sister. I know your brother, I believe, is also a basketball player, so that's fantastic. Do you have any mentors or is it all Kayla?
Oh, no. On my journey here from a little girl playing ball, just gaining confidence, everything. I have so many people I could give thanks to along the way. I wouldn't be here without the help of, I'd like to say, like the community who helped raise me and get me to where I am. Obviously, the first two I'm always going to go to are my parents. Without them, they were the ones who always encouraged me in everything that I did. Even when I started playing ball and I wasn't good at it, they were driving me to practices. They were encouraging me. They were cheering me on in games, and I was not doing anything productive. So I'll be forever thankful to them. They never limited my dreams. And then my sister, Keisha, she helped me finish the book. She is my biggest supporter. I don't know where I would be without her. Like, she is my sister, my best friend, my confidant, my editor. Like, I go to her for so much. So she's someone that I'm truly thankful for. And then finally, another mentor outside of my family, well, I consider her family, would be Miss Betsy. She's my spiritual mama, I like to call her. I always call her when I need advice. She's just an incredible woman. She's so generous. She does so much in her community. I met her when I was playing in San Antonio, and she's become my family. She's like a second mom to me.
That's fantastic. Are there any moments that shaped you?
Any moments? Yes, there's been quite a few. I tend to think that the moments that shaped me the most were my failures or the times where I fell short, whether it be my first 2 times trying out for the national team and getting cut both times, and then that third time when I finally made the team, always to get knocked out with an injury. This past I was playing with the Indiana Fever. I got waived from the team and I got picked up later on by the Chicago Sky. So just all those moments, to me, it's the failures, because in the failures, you can either choose to either stay down or to push through, and to learn from those mistakes or from those failures and conquer and get to the other side. So
I think it's like that when you look at any successful human being. Not to say, I know if I tell you you're successful, you'll probably say, "Oh shucks," but
yes.
Kayla, you are successful, and I think it's like that with every successful human being when it comes to it's the failures that shape them, and especially when it comes to athletes, I find they're the ones that are always focused on the games they lost as opposed to the games they win.
Yep, it's so true. I feel like those are our best teachers in life: are the mistakes, the failures, our shortcomings.
One of the themes for our Women of Influence Day that we're doing is to provide guidance and advice for young women in this community that are able to look up to these women and say, I can be just like you. Is there any advice that you have for young women in Milton?
Yes, there's a couple, if that's okay.
Sure.
The first one would be to step outside your comfort zone and to do things that scare you. So I wouldn't say I'm the most social or outgoing person, and I definitely was not like that in college. I was super shy. I told myself that if I wanted to do the things that I wanted to do in life, I'd have to get outside of myself. So one of the things I did was during the summer, I signed up to become a tour guide on our campus. And that literally forced me outside of my shell. I was talking to strangers every day. I was showing them around our campus, had to speak in large groups. So doing something like that helped me to gain the confidence in myself, to do something that was outside of myself, and to gain a new skill. So that's one. Do things that scare you and step outside your comfort zone, because that's where you grow. And then the second one would be, don't be afraid of failure. Like, it's a part of life. I've experienced so many failures. I'm sure I'm going to experience some more failures in the future. But it's a part of our life. It's how you learn. It's how you grow. And it's how you get to that next step in life. So don't be afraid of those failures and those moments. And last one, if I could throw one more in there,
Totally.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. We don't all have the answers. If you notice some of the most successful people in the world, they have so many advisors. Like, they're always looking for advice and people with more knowledge. So don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
So you're under contract still, I believe, with the Chicago Sky.
Minnesota Lynx.
Oh, Minnesota. Okay, perfect. So you're still looking forward to the WNBA basketball season when it comes into play.
Yes, I'm hopeful that we'll have a season, and I'm looking forward to playing this summer.
Perfect. And outside of basketball, I guess, what is next for Kayla Alexander?
Honestly, I want to continue working with our youth. I'm so thankful for every opportunity I get. This past winter, I got the opportunity to go with some Team Canada members and the right to play. I got to go to Senegal and do a coaching clinic there with some young athletes and just share the game, share some life skills that the game can teach us. So if I can continue to get those opportunities, I would love that. And obviously to write more children's books. I really enjoyed that, and I want to continue to do that.
All right, here's the easy one. Where can people find you on Twitter, Facebook, all of that stuff?
So Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, it's all the same. It's KJALEXAN and then 40. So KJAlexan40. And I have a website where you can order my books. It's Kayla Alexander, all one word, .net.
Fantastic. And if people want to find all of our interviews for Women of Influence Day, you can do so at miltonnow.ca. We'll have Kayla as well as our 8 other women for this year. Thank you so much for doing this, Kayla.
Oh, thanks for having me.
No problem.